Hello, this is Adam from Gator Audio. In part 3 of the Gator's video series, we'll be looking at playing with the cool pad effects to bring some emotion and real-time dynamic control into your tracks. Feel free to download the free demo from GatorAudio.com and check this out for yourselves. One of Gator's most awesome features are its pad effects. You can use them to dynamically control the sound of the instrument. You can also play them using the pads on your pad controller or pads on your controller keyboard, including Aftertouch modes. We'll get to this later in this video. Let's hear the sequence we'll be working with. The first effect is the beat crusher, which will introduce digital sounding distortion and noise into your sound. The less bits, the more distortion. If your patch happens to break completely and go silent, you may need to apply some compensatory gain with this slider. Let's listen. Next, we have the filter with two modes, high pass and low pass, and it has a built-in sweep envelope, which time is adjusted here, and the direction with this drop-down. So it can either sweep down or up. Let's test all the modes. Next we have modulation effects, the phaser and the flanger, with speed and intensity adjusted by the sliders. A cool sounding fractal delay, which will introduce metallic, ringing or robotic quality to your sound. The panner, panning from left to right, with tempo synced and depth amount. The wah effect, with adjustable shape of the internal LFO and tempo sync division. The transform effect, which is a variation of a tremolo effect with adjustable LFO shape and speed, tempo synced again. You can also use the square shape and high speeds to introduce some distorted robotic quality. And finally the cut echo, which will cut the incoming signal and let the delay ring out. You can also disable the delay and use the pad for cutting the sound. Now let's move to pad MIDI note assignments, so we can use the pad controller to control the pad effects. Gator's MIDI input is divided at C1, that's note 36. That's the C you normally use for the kick drum. Above C1, the notes will play the sequencer and the synth. But below C1, the synth engine won't sound, because the lower notes than C1 are reserved for the pad assignments. I have configured my controller so that these 8 pads are below C1, Please refer to your pad controller or controller keyboard manual to learn how to do this. So you click MIDI Learn, select the pad, and press the pad on the controller. Move on to the next one. Make sure you don't forget to turn off MIDI Learn. And let's check out if they work. I will turn latch on, so I don't have to hold the pad to play the sequence. You can use more pads than one at a time. Now let's talk about pad effects modes. Hold you already know. In hold mode, the pad is only active when it's pressed. When you let go, the effect stops. In one-shot mode, the effect will activate only for a short while. And then it will disable automatically. In toggle mode, you have to disable the effect by pressing the pad again. And we have the Aftertouch modes. If your controller supports polyphonic key pressure or poly Aftertouch, you need to select the blue. And if it only supports channel pressure or mono Aftertouch, the yellow one. In all effects apart from the filter, Aftertouch controls the amount of the effect, the dry-wet mix. But in the filter, it sweeps the cutoff frequency, so the internal sweep envelope is disabled. Thank you for exploring Gator with me. If you have any questions, drop us a line on togetheraudio.com or get together with us on any of our social media channels.